Alright guys, so today I want to talk about one of my favorite plants, the tiger lotus. It's a water lily and it gets quite big. Originally it comes from East Africa, and it's a fairly easy plant to keep. You do need a nutrient-rich substrate, which means either dirt or an enriched clay substrate, which I prefer, but that's a topic for another time. As I said, it can get quite big. It easily reaches from 20 centimeters in height and well up to a meter in height. And if it's allowed to grow, it can reach that size on the bottom too. It gets really big. So it's as I said, it's easy to keep, but there are a few things you might want to know. It can be kept in one of two ways. It can be kept low. The way you do this is you just trim any high leaves. You can see this one here has a few quite high leaves. If you trim them away, it will just make new leaves on the bottom and stay low. You can keep it high, as I do here, or you can even let it develop these beautiful lily pads, floating leaves. And if you do this, the plant will bloom if the conditions are right. This plant here I have had since I started out with this tank pretty much, so it's getting on up there in age, but it's doing quite well. It develops. I trim it back every week, cut away about 4 or 5 leaves, and when it's time for another water change and maintenance cycle, it has developed another 3 to 4 leaves at least. So in the last 2-3 months, this lotus started blooming, and the first bloom, it was not really a success. It didn't open quite all the way, and so on. So when it died, I trimmed it back, and then about a couple of weeks passed, and then I noticed some growth at the bottom. It turned out to be another flower that had gotten stuck under this piece of driftwood you can see here, and it had gotten all crumbled up, so that never reached the surface. But as soon as I cut that away, a new flower came, which opened fully and was very beautiful. It lasted a week's time, and a week after I cut that away, a new one breached the surface, as you can see here. So the flowers are nocturnal, so you won't see them bloom during the day, but early morning you can see it bloom. It's a very beautiful flower, and it also smells quite good. So, but this will only happen if you let it develop these floating leaves. Now if you do that, there are a few downsides. Of course, the plant will get big, and as I said, it will develop quite many of these leaves. Once it has had the first leaf, it will just keep them coming. So if you like that or not, that's up to you. But be aware, if the plant gets one floating leaf, they will keep coming, and it'll be quite hard to trim them away as fast as they come. That's why this plant has them. So now another thing is, this plant actually releases a compound into the water that can make it quite hard for other plants to grow in the near vicinity of it. But this is not something I've had a problem with, as you can see. So if you want to get this plant, you should get one as big as possible, but of course with no floating leaves as you buy it. Yeah. Another way to I haven't had much luck with a small plant. That's why I recommend getting them as big as possible. But there's a few ways to propagate this plant. One is just letting it be. It will split in two. It's a bulb plant. It will split in two and develop new plants at the roots. So given the time, it will spread and can easily fill up an entire side of the tank if it's allowed to do that. Now, as I said, this is a bulb plant, which means that when you get it, there will most likely be a bulb. If this is not there, don't worry, it will develop a new bulb. What I do is I usually take the bulb and then I tear it away from the main plant. Then I plant the bulb, and in time, you can see there, that's the bulb from one of my plants. A new plant is coming up right there. So that's an easy way to propagate this plant. But don't worry, it will spread to the rest of the tank by itself. So yeah, I think that's about it for the first plant spotlights. So if you see something you wanna know more about in my tanks, just let me know and I'll see what I can do. Yeah, thank you for watching.